Is it milestone? Milestones.
12 miles. Each one.
I'm on 12.
I mean, I'm each
Yeah.
one. It's one on 12 miles too.
Van Dyke going.
The one on 9 miles is swinging out of Grasham Hill.
What on 12?
12 miles right at back. You know, McComb, the Palace right.
It's a nice little Van Dyke, like 10, 11, 12.
That's tailgate. Saturday.
Oh, yeah, good time. What y'all at Easter Market?
It's my son again.
Easter Michigan. If y'all beat him, then.
Oh, that's the wife. That's the ex-wife.
Wait, let me see that. Did y'all win?
We lost 2 minutes left.
Yes.
I know, I just called my dad.
Oh, you got it? Okay, great. Excellent. Oh, man, that what was lose. That's a good deal. That's good.
So they fired Tucker yesterday, huh?
I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to do it that quick though. I thought they was going to wait till after that hearing.
They had to go through provisions of his contract.
Yeah.
They don't pay him.
No.
He'll sue him for it now.
You know. Dang it.
Good morning, Mr. O.
Good morning, Judge.
What case are you here on?
I have 2 cases. First one is Jesse Harris and second one is Dwayne Hawkins.
Okay. We are ready to go.
Calling case number 2305-88790 for the state of Michigan versus Wayne Hawk. Defendant charged with count 1. Assault with intent may become less than murder by strictly count 2 domestic violence, third offense notice.
Parents, so ready, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Train for the People, P number 60249.
And good morning, Judge Glenna with NDS PA 3424, appearing on behalf of Mr. Hawkins, who's present via Zoom. Mr. Hawkins, will you please state your name?
Yes, Dwayne Hawkins.
What's your pleasure, Mr. O?
Judge, we have paper discovery. We are requesting digital discovery. We're also requesting an in-person preliminary examination date, and we would like to address bond at the appropriate time.
Court will continue to plead not guilty and set this matter for preliminary examination. House September 25th at 12 o'clock.
Does the 25th is not a good day? Would the 26th be available?
No, sir, that's my homicide day. About the 27th at 9:30.
Thank you, Judge. That works.
That's the bond.
Yes, Judge, thank you. In speaking with Mr. Hawkins, this was previously addressed at the arraignment, and he didn't have his work schedule or proof of employment at that time, but he does so now. Mr. Hawkins is simply requesting that the tether conditions accommodate his work schedule, and I do have his schedule with me.
So what's the schedule?
So they are swing shifts, and Mr. Hawkins, correct me if I'm wrong, but on the 21st, he works from 6:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. And then the 22nd, he works from 6:30 to 2:30 a.m. And then on the 23rd, he works from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. So the problem is it's not a consistent schedule.
Where do you work, sir?
Motor City Casino, sir.
What do you do there?
Bartending, beverage.
And Mr. Hawkins did provide me with his supervisor's phone number and email and name as well, if the court wants to verify.
Is there a possibility you can get on a more consistent schedule?
No, that's the schedule. I can ask my manager, but that's like I fill in for the full timers.
Ms. Journey? Ms. Journey?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't have an objection at this time. Sorry about that. I don't have an objection at this time to hours being changed.
Okay, Mr. O will make his tether with no restrictions so that he can work those different hours.
Thank you,
But
Judge.
he's in contact whatsoever with the complaining witness or her place of residence or employment.
Understood. Mr. Hawkins, do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
I need an order to that effect.
Yes, Judge. I will prepare one and submit one.
And Mr. O, I did just send you an evidence.com link, which does contain digital discovery. Just please let me know if there's something else that you need, though.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Hawkins, you can sign off.
All right, thank you.
Oh, Ms. Journey, you're not on Hawkins, are you?
No, I'm not, Judge.
Okay. Waiting for the prosecutor on Hawkins, Mr. O.
Understood. Thank you.
Judge, did you ask me about Mendenhall?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I don't think we have a fence. I'm trying to get a new one yet.
okay, thank you.
You mentioned Mendenhall,
Oh, okay.
good morning, Judge.
Good morning. You ready, Mr. Kenneth?
Is Mr. Mendenhall on the Zoom?
No, it's not.
I need to wait for, based on the conversation we had, I believe it's gonna be a waiver.
Okay.
So we'll kind of have to wait until he can zoom in from, he's at the old jail. Based on this morning.
Okay.
I have a matter next door, one in Judge Bryant and one in Judge Roberts. So I'm only in the building today, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
appreciate it. So,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Harris. We're just waiting on your attorney to show, waiting on the prosecutor to show up, okay?
Will you be able to address the bond?
Mr. Harris, we're gonna request a DSU report and address bond at the preliminary examination.
Before? I didn't quite hear you.
Mr. Harris, like we talked about at the jail, we're gonna request a DSU report and then address bond at the preliminary examination, which is the next court date, not today's court date. So the
Okay.
judge can get that report.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, here comes Ms. Wilmoth now.
The case number 2305-885001. People of the state of Michigan versus Jesse Harris. Defendant is charged with count 1, criminal sexual conduct, second degree. Count 2, indecent exposure. Defendant has a habitual offender this notice, mandatory 25-year sentence.
Appearances for the record, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Appearances, please. Ms. Wilmot.
Can you hear me now? Okay,
Yeah,
there was something wrong with my stereo. Sorry about that, Your Honor. Good morning, Aaron Wilmoth, P82085, appearing on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Judge Glenn with NJSP 83424, appearing on behalf of Mr. Harris, who's present via Zoom. Mr. Harris, please state your name.
Jesse Harris.
what's your pleasure, Mr. O?
Judge, we have paper discovery. We do still need digital discovery, so I hesitate to set a preliminary examination date at this time because there are Kids Talks videos that we need to receive. But I defer to the court.
Wilmot, when can you get that to Mr. O?
I will have to send over a protective order for Mr. O to review for submission to the court for the release of the Kids Talk interview. There also is some body worn camera, but for the Kids Talk, I will need that protective order signed. So I can get that to Mr. O after our hearing. And if all is good, then I will get it over to the court.
All right, so Mr. O, you're already gonna be before me on September 27th at 9:30. I know how those cases go. What about September 27th at 9:45?
That should work so long as Ms. Wilmoth. I have no objection if it's the standard protective order to signing it. Or how quickly do you think you can get us to Kids Talk video?
Once Judge King signs that, I'll send it through evidence.com. So once I have it back, same day.
Okay, thank you.
And I know Judge King gets those back usually same day. But I am not available the morning of the 27th. I have a sentencing on a trial. And I also have another hearing. They're both supposed to be at 8:30. I just don't know if that will afford me enough time because there may be several victim impact statements at the sentencing. It could be lengthy. It was a trial with 3 victims. Could we do something in the 10 o'clock hour, Your Honor?
I can do 10 o'clock.
That
Yes,
should be fine.
that also works for defense.
I'm sorry, what did I miss?
Nothing, Judge. 10 o'clock and the 27th also works for defense, but can we also request a DSU report so we can address bond at the exam?
Okay, the court will refer the matter to pretrial services for bond recommendation. Continuing the plea of not guilty and set this matter for preliminary examination September 27th at 10 o'clock. Bond will be continued for now. Thank you.
That sounds good. Thank you, Your Honor. And I'll get that protective order to the court within the next 5 minutes. Everyone have a nice day.
All right, Mr. Harris, we'll see you on the 27th, okay? But I'll come visit you in the jail before then.
I didn't hear you.
Your next court date is on the 27th, but I'll come visit you at the jail before then, okay?
Okay, thank you. You have a blessed day.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Kleinfeld. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. How are you?
All right.
I have another Zoom to check into. This string, can I just email you? Make sure you have my cell and maybe text me if anyone shows up.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, I should be back shortly, Judge.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Which case are you on? Oh, he's on the,
Beverly?
okay. Unmute yourself, iPhone. Yes, sir, can I help you?
I had a court date,
What's your name, sir?
Jerron Beverly.
Mr. Beverly? Okay, we're
Yes,
just
sir.
we're waiting on your attorney to get here.
Okay.
Ms. Casket, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I was in Macomb Circuit and I actually just drove back to go and get on because my Bluetooth wasn't working.
You're here on Irving, correct?
I am, and he's in the jail, but I can waive his presence. I have talked with him.
Okay.
I don't know who my prosecutor is on the case, though. It's a murder.
This client though just went to another courtroom. He should be back pretty soon.
Okay, thank you.
plan.
Hey, how you doing, Bill? You been on vacation?
No, sir.
Haven't seen
Every day. I just wasn't here to pick you.
you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No. Good question.
Hey, Mr. Kleinfeld is back. You're ready, sir.
Case number 2305-878001 for State Michigan versus Rodney Irving. Defendant is charged with count 1. Homicide, murder, second degree, count 2, weapon stolen, firearm.
Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Mike Kleinfeld for the people, P79328.
And good morning, Your Honor. May it please this most honorable court, Nicole Casca, P55470 on behalf of Mr. Irving. Mr. Irving is over at the Old Wayne County Jail for purposes of today's probable cause conference. I have met with him before prior to today's date. I am going to waive his presence just for purposes of today.
For the waive the defendant's presence, what's your pleasure?
Judge, I do still have some outstanding discovery. I've got the paper discovery. I need video. So if Mr. Kleinfeld can get that over to me ASAP, and then I believe we just I need to do two things: order a pretrial services referral so I can address bond, and then have a preliminary examination date set. Please and thank you.
I'm sending the link right now.
Look at that. That is service if I ever heard it.
All right, the court will continue to plead not guilty. I'll set this matter for preliminary examination for September 26th. Can you do 11:30 or 1?
Judge, I'm in jury trial on an AWIM with multiple counts. I start on Monday before Nicholas Hathaway. It's expected to last 3 days. So that takes me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week.
Thursday at 10 o'clock, September 28th.
Judge, I'm afraid I'm in a homicide that week. I think it is going to end on the 28th.
Yeah, then all my other stuff is backed up, including a motion hearing.
October 3rd at 10 o'clock.
I can do October 3rd at 10 o'clock. What about you, Mr. Kleinfeld?
Judge, is it possible to do Thursday? I can make the 3rd work if need be.
I like October 5th.
Okay, October 5th at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
And Judge, you will order a pretrial services referral for me so we can do have a bond hearing.
I'll refer the matter to pretrial services for bond recommendation.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Be safe, be healthy.
Thank you too.
Mr. Drain, can we have Mr. Kenneth step in on Mendenhall? Mr. Drain, you're on Mendenhall, right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Officer Taylor, can we have Mr. Kenneth step in on Mendenhall? Yes, sir. Good morning, Officer Williams. All right.
I wanted to serve you, sir.
Good.
Yeah. Like your hair. Yes, it's nice.
Got 1 second, Your Honor, he should be coming. Okay,
This is the defendant.
yes. Oh, just not here. Hey, Mr. Kenneth, false alarm. I thought that we were ready, but we still don't have the defendant.
Oh, no problem, Judge. I'll log off. I'll be in the building.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, on the iPhone, what's your name again?
Jerron Beverly.
Hello, Judge.
Yes, sir.
I have one other case and they said they're ready for me right now. Can I leave for just a few minutes?
Yeah, what were we waiting on for you anyway?
It's I believe Beverly. I think we're waiting on the defense attorney.
All right, sure.
Thank you.
Is that Ms. Rick?
Yes, good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Rick. What do you have?
I have the kind of exam.
Oh, okay.
She'll never run out of it. She have a whole house of up to 40 kids. Nice to meet you.
Judge, you got a student here, want to say hi to you.
Hello there.
How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I started at Lakeshore today upstairs, so I was scared I come down and speak to you.
Sure.
So I'll be at work on a couple days a week
Wonderful. So you started where?
at Lakeshore.
Okay. So what you want to do?
I'm clerking right now. I feel like it was a good opportunity for me to clerk and, learn for like landlord tenant cases. So I'm upstairs today, so I'm representing my supervisor.
So this is a whole lot different than landlord tenant.
Yeah.
Particularly this exam courtroom. We do all the homicides, sexual assaults, felony domestic violence cases, child abuse and other abuse cases. Today at 10 o'clock, we're supposed to start with homicide and robbery. We charge child abuse, active evidence. So, interesting. What I like about this document is I see the very best of the attorneys because the stakes are so high. Have any questions about this? So we do the preliminary exam, so I just determine if there's enough evidence for it to be found over a certain date. Like the right defendant and the right charges. Sometimes that tells me increasing the charges or reducing the charges or dismissing the charges altogether. So we have what looks like mini trials, witnesses called, that young lady right there, our Wayne County prosecuting attorney. The defense attorney hasn't arrived yet. We don't start till 10 o'clock. Tuesdays and Thursdays are my homicide. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays I do everything else. First part of the morning, we do probable cause conference, which is me just setting the dates for when things are going, making sure attorneys have discovery, so that they're prepared to go forward on the date. So,
I'll be here on Tuesdays and Fridays, so if I have a chance
you get
to
a taste of
break out
both.
some down, yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, well, I see you.
All right. What's your name again?
Anaria.
Anaria, nice to meet you.
I'm Annalise Sewa. I work at Lakeshore legally. I'm an REA
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm supervisor.
All right, outstanding. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I know another two that Wayne.
You
I
what?
said I'm also a Wayne student.
You're at Wayne State Law School? Law School?
Yeah,
Oh, you didn't take my class?
not this semester,
Oh,
but I'll get there.
all
I'm
right.
taking your class.
I'm sorry.
I said I'm taking your class.
So you said you're starting at Lake Shore? What is Lake Shore?
Lakeshore Legal Aid.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. Get that reading done for tomorrow?
Yes, they do those, yes.
You'll be done tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
I think, next week we're gonna have a guest speaker come.
Okay.
A former homicide detective, one of the best that I've seen. You'll get to meet him.
Okay.
It should be interesting. Okay?
All
Take
right.
care.
Nice meeting you.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate it. Mr. Pitts,
Judge, good morning.
what can I do for you?
Here for Mr. Jerron Beverly. We've got a PCC.
Oh, you're here on Mr. Beverly, okay.
And I see Mr. Beverly right there, so he's here.
All right, Mr. Kleinfeld is here as well. We're ready to go.
Case number 2305852401, people of the state of Michigan versus Jerron Beverly. Defendant is charged in count one, operating license suspended, revoked, denied, causing serious injury.
Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Mike Kleinfeld for the people, P79328.
And good morning, Your Honor. May it please this honorable court, Byron Pitts, ready on behalf of Mr. Beverly.
Mr. Beverly, unmute yourself and tell us your name.
Jerron Beverly.
What's your pleasure, Mr. Pitts?
Judge, I was just retained on this case. I need to get discovery. If I could get discovery and we could just set this up for another PCC at the court's earliest convenience, that'd be great.
Is there a possibility this may resolve itself short of an exam?
I don't think so. I haven't had any discussions with Mr. Kleinfeld, but
So
certainly.
if it's to exam, then we might as well set an exam date now.
Okay.
Oh. Now, Mr. Kleinfeld, what's the status of this? This is a homicide now, right?
Yes, Judge. This case was reassigned to me. My understanding is it was charged as a operating without a license causing serious injury, and then I think the victim subsequently died. And the case was transferred to me. Yes.
So
I do.
We have new charges here. We need a new case.
So, Judge, I didn't amend the charges. I was going to speak to defense, and if we have the exam, I would just probably address what I would request to bind over at exam, unless the court prefers me to not to do it that way.
I would object, Judge. He's got to be arraigned on the charge that's, at least from the prosecutor, that fits the facts. At least, I mean, the guy, I think he needs to be arraigned on what he's supposed to be arraigned on. And then I can obviously address my argument to the charges, not what, I strike that. I address my argument, the proper charges, not to a charge that starts out being improper, and then they want to argue about raising the charges. I think I like it arraigned on the proper charge.
And I'm sorry, I can file new charges today, and if the court would like, schedule this for tomorrow.
And it was, Judge, respectfully, that there was a prior PC, the individual expired, and that's why we came back for this PC, for the purpose of addressing the new circumstances of the complainant now deceased.
Right. So instead of trying to cut corners here, I think what needs to be done is that the original case needs to be dismissed and the new charges need to be forthcoming. And the defendant has to be arraigned on those new charges.
That's fair, Judge. I can probably get all that paperwork filed by this afternoon.
Right. So it'll be arraigned before a magistrate, then it'll get to me in probable cause conference in a week, no more than 2 weeks, and then we'll go from there.
Your Honor, can we do a sidebar? Can we go to a breakout room for a minute?
Just me, you, and Mr. Kleinfeld?
Yeah, please.
Understand that everybody else in the courtroom is going to hear it.
Well, it's not going to be private between the three of us. If not, I don't have a big problem with it. I can put it on the record.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, my concern is that we need the charges, I think, need to reflect the circumstances so that we agree when we have this exam, I argue as specific charges.
He's going to dismiss no charges, bring the charges as they're supposed to be.
No, right. That's my buildup, Judge. That's my buildup. The question, he's got to be rearranged. And I understand, is there a way we can do this so he doesn't have to go back into can he do a walk-in arraignment? I don't want him to have to go back and spend the night at Mound or strike that Detroit Detention Center for this matter. Can he do a walk-in?
All right, bring forth the new charges and paperwork. I'll do the arraignment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Judge, I don't know if this would make sense. That's why I was asking about maybe like setting this tomorrow as a PCC, and then I can dismiss this case and do the arraignment on the new case all at once. I don't know if that would make sense.
We do the arraignment and then do the PCC right after the arraignment?
That's what I was thinking, yes.
Judge, wouldn't we have to have a PCC on the new, or can't Mr. Kleinfeld dismiss the charges now? Because you got to dismiss on the new case, on the old case, then arraign on the new case or new charges. Can't you just now, Mr. Kleinfeld, and then, you know, you can get the warrant and we can arraign them in before the Honorable Judge King tomorrow?
I think I have to get the other case going before I can do that. I mean, I understand that, but I think I have to at least talk to my bosses, let them know what I'm doing, and get
That's
that
fine.
ready to be
It's
filed.
gonna be the same thing.
Okay.
It's gonna be for me.
Yeah.
All right, so we're adjourning the PCC until tomorrow. Give you an opportunity to get that paperwork on the new case filed, in charge, and then once that's done, we'll dismiss the old case and proceed on the new case. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that makes sense. So I'll put this case over till tomorrow, understanding that this case will be dismissed once the new case is filed. And I'll arraign on a new case, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So once again, Judge, 9 a.m.
8:30.
That's fine.
Let me call the case and put it on the record. Oh, we called it already? I'm sorry. Okay, so after the sidebar discussion, we agreed to adjourn this matter, this case until tomorrow, September 20th at 8:30 a.m. with the understanding that this case will be dismissed because the prosecution is filing a different case due to the change in circumstances. And I am going to arraign him on a new case tomorrow. That'll be September 20th at 8:30. Bond will be continued.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
And if I may, Mr. Kleinfeld, could you give me a call, please? We can get some discovery.
Yes, I'll give you a call.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Are we ready? Ready, Ms. Phelps?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You can come over. Right, you can go here from the other.
Yes.
Calling case number 2305-857-501 for the state of Michigan versus Armani Robinson. Defendant is charged in count 1, homicide, manslaughter, and volunteer. Count 2, child abuse, second degree. Count 3, tampering with evidence, criminal case punishable by more than 10 years.
Parents, for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tina Ripley on behalf of the people voting 3688.
Good morning, Your Honor. Neighborhood Defender Service of Detroit by Natalie Phelps, 83355, appearing on behalf of Mr. Armani Robinson, who's also present in the courtroom. Mr. Robinson, can you please state your name for the record?
Can't hear you, sir. This date and time set for preliminary examination. I'm ready to proceed.
Yes, Judge.
How many witnesses for the,
3 Judge.
have the preliminary matters you'd like to begin with before you call the
Never see, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
People would move to admit people supposed to read it 1 pursuant to MCL 766.11B. It's the post-mortem report from the medical examiner's office.
Any objection?
Judge, I just object.
Overruled. Admitted.
Thank you, Judge. And may I briefly summarize?
Yes.
Thank you. This is any case number 23-10274, the postmortem examination on Sean Tez, SHAWNTAZE, Cameron Moore, MOORE, performed on August 21st, 2023 by Dr. Leigh Labaty, that's LEIGH
Leave.
Leigh, assistant medical examiner from the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office. It is her opinion that death was caused by gunshot wound to the head. There was loose contact entrance gunshot wound on the left forehead, with lacerations radiating from this wound and a small amount of soot present on the wound edges and underlying bone. Parasordium, PERIOSTEUM. The wound track proceeded from this injury through the left frontal bone, brain, and right occipital bone, and ended at an exit wound on the right occipital scalp. Additional injuries included bruising of the left frontal scalp, multiple skull fractures, subarachnoid hemorrhage, and bruising on the brain. The wound track was from front to back, left to right, slightly downward. The body is viewed in the standard anatomical position. There was no bullet or part of bullet recovered from the wound track. Investigation revealed that the decedent was alone with another child in the room with the weapon. Others in the house heard a gunshot and found the decedent shot. Investigation could not / has not determined who pulled the trigger of the weapon. Thus, the manner of death is indeterminate.
Yes.
No, that's fine.
And Your Honor, the only preliminary legal, yes, to move to sequester the executive officer charge.
Any objection to apply to remain?
Yes, Judge, I would object to the officer charge. He is going to testify today, and I will testify.
Will you testify to that?
He will be testifying second. The only other person for it is a 911 call operator.
Let's call him out.
And then Judge, I believe you have a stipulation to the identification of Sean Moore.
So stipulated for exam purposes.
Yes, sir.
Or excuse that stipulation.
Mr. Jeffries just have to get back, I thought I would call it first, so I'm just gonna have, officer, step out in the hallway. and introduce yourself. At this time, people call Sean T. Jeffers.
That's your officer in charge.
She's the keeper of records for the bank.
Well, she's calling the OIC first.
I think she changed her mind.
I was judged, but Ms. Jeffries, she's very busy going to get back to work. I told her I'd call her first. She should be fairly free.
Please step forward, give your name and spell into the record. Just have it. Oh, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please have a seat with this box right next to me. Voice up nice and loud. Speak to that microphone will be to your left, okay?
Yes, sir.
Maybe get when you're ready.
Good morning. Could you please state your name for the record?
Sean T. Jeffries.
And how are you employed?
I'm an operator in people records.
How long have you been employed in Central?
I've been an operator for 22 years and in people records for 18.
And what does it entail to be the keeper of records?
I put all the 911 recordings for people that are requesting for the tapes, for their cases.
And did you get a chance to extract a 911 call from the date of August 19th of 2023?
Yes.
And do you recall the location of that 911 call?
But not off the top of my head.
Did you get a chance to review the 911 call that you pulled for this case?
Yes.
How many 911 calls did you pull for this case?
One.
That one was called. That you pulled for this case because you had a chance to listen to?
Yes.
And was that a fair and accurate depiction of the 911 call that you pulled for this case?
Yes.
May I move to publish, or you could make it to publish it too, as a 911 call that Mr. pulled for this case?
Judge, I'm gonna object to your side.
Judge, the 911 call in this case is non-testimonial in nature. Its primary purpose is made for assisting the emergency.
Judge, the content of the 911 call, I'm objecting to is hearsay, Judge. There's an exception, because it's an out-of-court statement made by some third parent who's not. Was offered for the truth of matters.
Judge, 911 calls, they are this one is non-testimonial in nature, and that's under Davis v. Washington and Indiana. They're non-testimonial when they're made in the course of police interrogation under circumstances objectively indicated. But the primary purpose of the interrogation is to enable police assistance with the ongoing emergency. So there are exceptions to this.
And Judge, I would argue that it is testimonial. Half of the call definitely is testimonial in nature. The emergency is over for that that part of it. I understand that the confrontation clause does not apply to preliminary exam though. My objection is that it is hearsay, and so I'm asking for if there's an exception to the hearsay.
It's not this.
Can I just ask for the record what exception?
I rule that it's not hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
If it were, I believe it would also fall under a consent suppression. The people on the 911 call are proceeding with the events as they are occurring. The police had not yet even arrived when the phone call ended. They are actively within the scene. May I share my screen?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hold on, I'm going to have to turn that over.
Just like, yeah.
Just lay out loud.
You don't know how to share the audio?
I don't know why you didn't share it.
Saturday, August 19, 2023, 22:28 and 28 seconds.
Detroit 911, what's the address to your emergency?
Hi, I'm at 15725 Ward Street.
Okay.
There's a child that's not breathing, or there's something wrong with the child. I don't know if it's a neighbor.
Okay, are you with the child now?
Yes, I think his mother is.
Okay, I need you to go near the child so we can save him until police get there, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Did you ask me something? I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next. Can you go near the child so we can help the child?
Yes, they're sending a paramedic now.
Okay, I need you to help the child. We can do CPR on the child and help the child until EMS arrives. Are you able to do this, ma'am?
You do CPR? They said to do CPR until the paramedics are
I'm gonna give instructions.
Okay, sorry.
I need to know how old the child is.
How old is he? He's 8.
Okay. Are you right by him now?
I'm sorry, he's 8?
Yes. Are you right by him now?
Yes, I have a neighbor who knows how to do CPR.
Okay. Is the neighbor doing CPR?
Is he? I do CPR. He's breathing.
He is breathing?
Yes, he's breathing.
Okay, I need you guys to place your hand on his forehead, your other hand under his neck, and tilt his head back.
It says she has her hand on his neck, and she said to put your hand on his forehead to lean his head back. I think they just wanna.
Can I speak to the neighbor that know how to do CPR?
Yes. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Hello?
Is the child breathing? Hi. Is that child breathing?
Yeah, he's breathing. They got a pulse.
Okay, great. Can you place your hand on the child's forehead, your other hand under the neck, and tilt the head back?
Yeah, the mom's got to put it back now.
The mom's not putting the baby down?
They pick him up. They put him in the car and take him out.
Yeah, let them know we have EMS driving, but we need to help the baby until EMS get there.
Yeah, we can help the EMS is on the way. Yeah, they put him in the car and bring him to the hospital.
Okay, tell them EMS is very close.
EMS is very close, guys.
They're still putting the child in the car?
EMS is very close.
They're transporting the child on their own?
Yeah, they're transporting the child, yeah.
Okay. Do you know what kind of car they're in?
They're in a PT Cruiser.
What color?
It's going to be, it's gray.
Great.
They're westbound on Midland, going towards Schaefer. I think they're coming to Sinai.
Westbound. Do you know what happened to the child?
The child is, I'm going to run to the corner just so I can. I won't walk fast to the corner. They just went down Midland. I hear the EMS.
Yeah, that's how I was saying. They were really close, and we could have helped the child.
It would have been better. It would have been better, I think.
Yeah. Do we know?
The dad's not going. The dad has a weapon. I see him carry a weapon all the time with a skin magazine. I'm sure the boy got shot with that gun. The
child was shot?
Police. He wants a police car over there, I think.
Okay, so the child was shot, is that correct?
Yeah, the child was shot in the head.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, and the address is 15725 where the incident happened.
Okay. Is the father in the car too?
No, the father went back in the house. I ain't never seen no shit like that in my life.
Okay. No.
I had to drive a shower.
You can remain anonymous, sir, but do you know the father's name?
I don't know his name. They just moved in about a month ago.
Okay, is the father a black male, white male, or Hispanic male?
He's a black male. He's a black male, about 155 pounds, real slim build. Like he's at the house. I live directly across the street from him.
Huh?
I live directly across the street from them. He went back in the house at 15725. It's a white Lincoln or
A white Lincoln?
so. He hasn't left. I'll let you know.
Oh, you say he hasn't left?
No, he hasn't left. He's still here.
Oh.
And then he sent her. The neighbor took the mother and the child to the hospital.
So the father is in the home?
Yeah, he's in the house right now.
And you say he's a black?
He's running out with a flashlight. He's with the flashlight looking in the car.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell he's on. Looking for the keys.
Okay.
Alarm's going off on it.
And you said that the father was a black male?
Black male, yes, ma'am.
What kind? And he's looking at what kind of vehicle?
It is a white car. I'm gonna walk back down by it too. I'll let you know 1 second. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's the kids.
I really do appreciate you. We have a lot of help on the way.
Yeah, they just left the scene. They're going west on Pilgrim towards Schaefer. Huh?
The father?
No, the EMS just rolled by.
Yeah, so they're not coming because they didn't know that at first.
Okay. It's a Lincoln, and I'm gonna give you his plate number.
What color Lincoln?
White.
Okay.
But Lincoln Zephyr. It's Edward Sam Young, 3033.
3033. Is he still outside?
He's with a flashlight running through the house.
Okay.
So I don't know what color he's in.
Okay, sir, I really, really do appreciate you so much. I'm going to get police out there. They're actually en route to 15727 Ward Street. They'll be there as soon as possible. 15725.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Bye.
Cross-examine.
Officer Jeffries, is that right? Or just Ms. Jeffries? Yes. Okay. So you indicated that you pulled this recording for this case, is that right? Yes. And when you pull the recordings, does it record what number the call came from? Yes. Okay. And does it show you a name associated with the call or anything like that? If it's a landline, yes, but a cell phone don't have the name of operator or admin. Okay. So when you were asked to pull the 911 call for this case, how did you do that? Provided the information to give to me, whoever requested, then maybe the address and maybe the report number. And then I just searched into our CAD computer, which is computed as 911 operator, and put the information in the customer units. While searching to the net system, find the call. And when you said the case number, is that the police case number, or do you keep a separate case number for this? Or no, if they provide a report number, I need the report number. A lot of times they give me an address, and then I'll look address or street. Okay, and just to be clear, that you're not the operator on this call, right? No, ma'am. I don't have any more questions.
Can you redirect?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
We'll call officer in charge, Officer Isaac Lamas.
Yes. Okay, great. Morning, sir. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. Put the spots next to me. What's up, nice and loud, speaking to the microphone and to your left. When you're ready.
Why don't you please state your name for the record?
Isaac Holmes,
And where are you employed?
City of Detroit, Detroit Police Department.
Judge, is that microphone? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Is it turned on?
Right? I don't
Is the
think,
red light on? There you go.
could you say how you're employed again? Sorry. How are you employed?
With the Detroit Police Department,
And are you assigned to a special unit or anything like that?
homicide,
And how long have you been a police officer for the city of Detroit?
a little over 6 years now.
And has that always been in homicide or has you started somewhere else?
Before homicide, I worked ceasefire at 6%.
What is your role in the case of People versus Armani Robinson?
I'm assigned the officer in charge.
And what does that mean to be the officer in charge?
As the officer in charge, you spearhead the investigation of whatever case that it is. You help direct your assisting team members and you ensure that the investigation is complete.
And so what kind of duties did you perform on this case?
I initially made the hospital where the victim was. After that, I went to the location of the incident briefly, and then I went back to our office to interview Mr. Robinson.
And so the location of the incident, are you familiar with the address that you went to?
Yes,
And do you remember what that address was?
15725 Ward Street, Detroit.
So that's the city of Detroit.
Yes,
And do you recall what day that you made that address?
I don't have a specific date, but you know.
At your investigator's report, for any recollection?
Yes.
Yeah, Coach Judge.
Ma'am?
And you the investigator's report. You just go through that, let me know, like, your, memory is refreshed as to the date that you went to the ward address.
Would have been early morning of August 20th for the incident that occurred late evening, August 19th.
And when you went there, what did you see?
It was a single family home. When you entered through the main door, you had your kitchen on the left side, and then a family living room area on the right side of you with a fireplace in it.
And is that as far as you went into the house that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I-
You may.
He was the article, yes, 3, 4. Can you tell me what it is that you stand to?
Exhibit 3 is going to be the exterior wall leading the main door. The inside, I'm sorry, it's the interior side of the exterior wall. And then exhibit 4 is going to be the living room that is a fireplace in that door.
And would it be fair to say that those are photos of inside the house at 15725 Ward?
Yes,
And are those a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that night inside that house?
yes.
I move for the admission of the proposed exhibits 3 and 4.
Any objection? David?
Thank you, Judge.
Yes.
What did you see in the living room that night, or that morning?
There was a pooling of blood with small amounts of tissue on the ground next to the carpeting, as well as blood spatter on the wall and the mantel.
Did you do anything else at the house that morning?
I did not.
And you said afterwards you went somewhere, where did you go?
Detroit Public Safety Headquarters,
And what was your purpose for going there?
interview of Alani Robinson.
And did you complete an interview with Armani Robinson?
I did.
And do you see the person that you interviewed in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And could you point to them or identify them by an item of clothing?
Mr. Robinson is wearing a light button shirt.
And, with the record of what the witness that you affected the defendant in this case, Judge?
So noted.
Thank you. And did you do this interview with, alone or with a partner?
I interviewed alongside Sergeant.
Do you recall about how long this interview was?
I would say maybe hour and a half-ish, somewhere between 90 minutes or so.
Was this recorded in any way?
It was.
And how was it recorded?
Our interview rooms have automatic audio and video recording.
When you spoke to Mr. Robinson, did you advise him of his rights?
Sergeant Reed did.
And you were present when this happened?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object.
Your Honor, he's present in the room, not testifying. Something he didn't see on his own.
That's fine.
Did you, was something used in assisting with advising, Mr. Robinson of his rights?
It would be a constitutional rights form.
And do you remember, did Mr. Robinson read that out loud, or was it read to him or something?
One more time, please.
Was that rights form read to Mr. Robinson? Did Mr. Robinson read it himself or something else?
Was read to him and then handed to him to initial review.
Did Mr. Robinson indicate his highest level of education?
Yeah,
And what was it?
I do not recall, but it would be on the phone.
And your man, Coach,
Yes.
any of you, advice or recommendation to refresh your recollection? Is that refresh your memory as to Mr. Robinson's highest level of education?
It does.
And what was his highest level of education?
Completed a GED 2017.
About how many interviews have you conducted as a police officer?
Countless.
More than 100?
Significantly more, yes.
Would it be fair to say that you've seen and observed people that would be under the influence of alcohol or drugs?
Yes.
Did Mr. Robinson, in your training and experience, appear to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs?
No.
And did Mr. Robinson do anything to acknowledge that he understood his rights?
Yes.
And what did he do?
Initialed next to each item.
Did he also sign the entire form?
He did.
And he was the 5.
People's Exhibit 5 is the constitutional rights form for Armani Robinson that has his initials affixed to numbers 1 through 5, as well as his signature date and time.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the constitutional rights that was executed in this case for the interview that the Sergeant Gray did?
It is.
And I believe the admission of both of those in 5.
You did it?
And pass this to voluntary.
Where there's terms?
Is it, Officer Lamas, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it Officer or Sergeant? Something else?
Officer.
So you indicated that you conducted this interview at DPD headquarters, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and this was done, so the incident in this case, it occurred around 10:30 at night, is that right?
Roughly.
Okay, and this interview took place around 2:30 the next week, is that right?
Correct.
And Mr. Robinson was in custody at the time, right?
I believe he was just detained at the time.
He was in complete DPD custody, correct?
Correct.
Okay, you've been handcuffed, you've been taken to the station, is that right?
Correct.
And when you first encountered him in the interview room, he didn't have a shirt on, correct?
I do not recall.
Do you, he'd been at the station for several hours at that point, is that right?
I do not believe so, no.
Okay, how many hours have you been at the station?
I don't recall.
So, so you indicated that you went to the scene, is that correct?
Correct.
And what time was that at?
I don't remember the exact time, as I mentioned, after the hospital first.
Right. So, what time did you get back to the station?
I don't remember the exact time.
But you're aware that Mr. Robinson was taken from the scene to DPD headquarters, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so he'd been in custody during that time. And you indicated that you didn't remember that he wasn't wearing a top when you first entered the room with him?
I don't recall what the exact time.
Did you have an opportunity to review this interview?
Yes.
And you don't recall that he did not have a shirt on at the beginning?
That's the answer.
Okay. Mr. Robinson indicated he was cold, didn't he, before you began the interview?
Not that I remember mentioning. No.
Okay, did you give him anything to eat, anything to drink?
I don't recall.
Judge, I don't have any more questions, and I'm just gonna object to that.
Court makes a finding that the statement was normally voluntary and didn't receive.
And the format of the statement was video and audio.
Correct.
And it shows three. Can I correct the retention of the screen? 3 seconds, just to show the picture. Is this a fair and accurate depiction of the video statement that was taken in this case?
Yes.
And I have proof of the admission of the exhibit 6 video statement.
Yes.
No, Judge, just my previous objection.
You did it?
Thank you, Judge. Judge, the statement is quite lengthy. The defense counsel and I have spoken about this before. My request is that it's admitted at a court to review the chambers. It's about a little over 2 hours long. It says 2:41, but there's some time gap that you can jump through. So I would ask that you do it in chambers. That if you have other questions.
Go ahead. correct stipulation?
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
Camera.
I'm so sorry.
Is that be the interview in camera?
Yes, Judge, I would make, I would make a best evidence objection to any, brief portion of this evening anyway, so yes, I agree.
I do want the whole video, I do want you to view the whole video, so I don't really want to play parts. So I understand. Thank you. Sorry. Officer Lamas, as the officer in charge, it's also your duty to review evidence in the case.
Yes,
Was the gun ever recovered in this case?
it was
And do you know where from?
from the.
Judge, I'm gonna object to hearsay, I mean, no personal, I'm sorry, I'll object to personal,
I don't want to, that's, they doesn't have personal
then I would ask for a donation.
opportunity.
Did you see a gun recovered in this case?
Personally, I did not see it.
Did you get a chance, after a gun was recovered, did you get a chance to look at the specs and identification of the gun?
Yes,
And did you run that gun in lean?
yes,
And what came up when you ran the weapon in lean?
I would need to refresh.
Judge, I'll object to the answer.
Lean is not a, it's not your side. Reviewing the investigator's report before your reflection as to what happened with me.
Yes, sir.
Question.
Ma'am?
Any investigators? Who's that? Will let me know when your memory has been refreshed. Good. Put that over. And what came up on the gun in me?
That it had previously been stolen out of the railroad.
And was a shell casing ever recovered in this case?
No,
Question.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, Officer Lamas, I have 2 questions for you. If you don't understand any of my questions, we ask you to rephrase, is that fair?
yes,
Okay, otherwise, I'm assuming you understood, okay? So you indicated that you've been with the Detroit Police Department for 6 years, is that right?
correct,
And you indicated you were in the ceasefire unit before homicide, is that right?
correct.
How long have you been in homicide?
Nearing 2 years now.
And did you work anywhere as a police officer before your time with the Detroit Police Department?
No,
So you indicated that you first went to the hospital when you were getting involved in this case, is that correct?
Correct.
And which hospital did you go to?
San Andreas.
And who did
No,
you?
I apologize, it was not San Andreas. It would be DRH.
Jerry. Did you speak to anybody while you were? Did you speak to any human while you were at the hospital?
Workers or family.
Both. Yeah, so you spoke to both workers and family while you're at the hospital? Okay. Which workers did you talk to?
I don't remember that.
Were you wearing a body worn camera when you went to the hospital?
I would not have been.
You indicated that you talked to family members while you were at the hospital?
Correct.
Okay, who did you speak to?
Alexis Reeves.
Anyone else?
No.
Did you memorialize your conversation with her in any way?
Yes.
How did you do that?
That itself would have been recorded on my end as well as a written statement.
So while you were at the hospital, you interviewed her on body cam.
Correct.
Where were you when you interviewed?
Would have been in one of our vehicles.
Did you do anything else while you were in the hospital?
No.
Did you talk?
No.
And then you said from there you went to the location where this.
Correct.
Was there a shot spotter report in this case?
I do not recall.
When you went to the scene, did you have your body on camera?
I did not.
And so you did not activate any body on camera or anything while you were on the scene?
Correct.
Okay. When you got there, were there other officers?
There were.
Which other officers were there?
From patrol, I do not recall.
Okay.
I would have to reflect on my report. From homicide, it would have been Sergeant Reed, Officer Shakur.
Officer, I'm sorry?
Officer Shakur.
Shakur. Can you spell that for me?
SHAKOOR.
And did you observe Officers Reed and Shakur during any investigation?
I did not.
Did you take any photographs?
I did not.
And did you observe any other officers taking any photographs?
No.
Did you do a search of them?
I did not.
Are you aware of whether a search was conducted?
That would have been before I arrived at Fort Wilson.
Did you ever request a search warrant for this case? Okay, so when did you request a search warrant
Which search warrant?
of the home?
I do not recall.
Okay, so at some point you did request a search warrant of the home, correct?
I would have to reflect.
Okay, would you like to look at your officer's report?
Please. Thank you. Go ahead.
Officer Lamas, is that the investigator's report that I handed you?
It is.
Okay, and you authored that report, correct?
Correct.
Is that the only report that you've authored in this case?
It is.
I'll give you an opportunity. So your, excuse me, Lana, your memory has been refreshed now. You've had an opportunity to review your report.
Yes.
And did you submit for a search warrant of the home in this case?
No.
Would reviewing the search warrant give you a refresher memory?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I said-
This is not for home. This is for the 2006 Lincoln Temper.
Okay. So you did not apply for the search warrant for the home in this case, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. But you are the officer in charge, correct?
Correct.
And your part of your duties include reviewing evidence, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so when did the search of the home occur? If you know.
Again.
You don't know. Okay. Was there a tablet recovered during that search?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I'm not too much, but we do have a sequestration.
Not sure what this, why in closing
The
the
brother, he said he's not testifying, this is Alexis' mom.
No, I'm gonna, they might contest on either. Okay, would reviewing the warrant return for this case refresh your recollection as to whether the tablet was recovered?
Yes.
May I approach Judge?
Ma'am? You have standing conditions.
Okay. Just trying to get better. Has your memory been refreshed?
Yes.
Okay. Was there a tablet recovered in this case?
From the home, no.
Okay. Was there a cell phone recovered?
Yes.
Okay. How many cell phones were recovered?
The return shows 3.
Do you know, did you ever direct anybody to recover a tablet from the home? As an officer in charge, did you have an opportunity to talk to other witnesses involved in this case?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything about any of those conversations that led you to search for a tablet? The cell phones that were recovered, were they extracted?
They were in the process of being extracted.
Okay, so you requested that they be extracted? Okay, and you still retain those cell phones, is that right? And that's free cell phones, is that right?
Correct.
When you arrived on the scene that night, were there any other witnesses, civilians still present on the scene?
Not that I was aware of.
You indicated that a shell casing was not recovered, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was there ever a bullet recovered?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did you, with any DNA swabs, were any DNA swabs done in this case?
Yes.
What was swabbed?
The hand grip of the firearm. The hands of the victim. The buccal swab of Mr. Robinson. And that's the extent.
Was a buccal swab taken of Damari?
One is not.
Did you request a search warrant for a buccal swab?
Yes.
And you decided not to take the DNA swab or so? You decided not to get the buccal swab from Damari, or is that still in process?
It just isn't executed.
Did you test anything for gunpowder residue?
No.
Did you test any person for gunpowder?
No.
And you indicated that other people were interviewed for this case, is that right?
Correct.
Were you involved in those interviews?
I was present for that interview.
Okay. So for those interviews of Damari, is that correct?
Correct.
And who was the other person who was interviewed?
His older brother.
Do you remember his name?
No.
Do you want to refresh your recollection? Your memory?
Yes.
Do you recall who else was interviewed for this case?
Mark L. Shelton.
And how old was Mark Hall?
The 13, 14.
And the Damari that you referred to, that's Damari Addison, is that right?
Correct.
And do you know how old Damari is?
Somewhere between 6 and 8, exact birthday.
And those were forensic interviews that were completed?
They were.
Okay. And anything from those interviews lead you to do further investigation?
No.
Have you investigated this type of shooting before? I guess when I say this type of shooting, have you investigated a child death shooting before?
Yes.
How many have you investigated?
I don't know the exact number.
Can you make anything about it?
No.
Have you investigated a shooting where a single child was alleged to have fired a gun at himself?
Yes.
And how many investigations have you done with that?
I don't have a number.
Do you recall what kind of wound tracks you observed in that case?
No.
Did you, so you indicated that you conducted an interview with Mr. Robinson, right?
Yes.
During that interview, did you take any written statement from Mr. Robinson outside of the constitutional rights form? When you say I did not, did anybody else involved in that interview take a statement?
I can't recall certainly.
Did you, so you indicated that you were not involved in the execution of a search warrant of this home, is that right?
Correct.
Did you ever visit this home again after that initial visit?
No.
So you indicated that a casing was not found in this case, is that correct?
Correct.
Do you know which officers looked for the casing? Is that something that you would normally put in your report?
Which officers look for this?
Yes. One, Judge, if I could.
Have you been in touch with the county jail about ending home?
No.
You pick it out, that's it.
I don't have any more questions.
Can you redirect?
Great. Bill, you said you went to the hospital in this case,
Yes,
and that you interviewed Ms. Alexis Graves.
yes.
Which hospital did you say that you guys went to?
Women's School, it was Sinai Grace.
What sign?
It was Sinai School, yes.
In your training and experience, have you submitted items to Michigan State Police Lab for testing?
Yes,
And have you ever submitted items for gunshot residue testing?
no,
And why not?
that's never submitted to that.
Do you know if Michigan State Police can test for that?
I do not know.
Nothing further.
All right, thank you, sir. You may stay. Any other witnesses for-
Yes, Judge. Who would call Sergeant Todd Eby and new officer Kirk Springman or now?
Yes.
Thank you.
So please give your name and spelling. Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
We give you a writ.
Thank you. I didn't notice that somebody else under the court, I'm not sure who that is.
Not a witness. Not a witness.
Not a witness, okay. All right. Thank you. Good morning, could you please state your name for the record?
My name is Todd Eby,
And how are you employed?
City of Detroit Police Department.
And in what capacity?
I am a sergeant.
How long have you been employed with the Detroit Police Department?
Just under 29 years.
Are you familiar with the case of Wilbur Startup or Monty Robinson?
I am.
And what was your role in this case?
I conducted an interview with the defendant.
And do you see the person that you interviewed in the courtroom today?
Yes,
And could you identify them and identify their clothing?
sure. Gentleman sitting at the defense counsel table wearing a white dress shirt.
Your Honor, with the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant in this case?
So noted.
Thank you, Judge. Do you recall when you interviewed Mr. Robinson? Date.
Probably 2 weeks ago.
And where were you at when you interviewed Mr. Robinson?
Detroit Police Headquarters.
Were you alone or with a partner?
I was by myself.
Do you recall about how long this interview lasted?
A couple hours.
More than one?
Yes,
More than two?
possibly.
Was this recorded in any way?
It was.
And how was it recorded?
Audio and video recording.
Was there also a written statement taken?
There was.
Did you advise Mr. Robinson of his rights?
I did.
And did you use something to assist in advising him of his rights?
I did.
What did you use?
Constitutional rights form.
Did you read it or did he read it out loud or something else? Did he indicate his highest level of education?
He did.
And do you recall what he said?
No, I don't.
When reviewing the advice of rights protect your recollection?
Yes. Yes.
What did he say his highest level of education was?
He completed his GED.
About how many interviews have you conducted as a police officer?
In 29 years, I would say, well over 100. It would be very conservative number.
Would it be fair to say that you've seen it or observed people under the influence of alcohol or drugs?
Yes.
Did Mr. Robinson, in your experience, appear to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs?
No, he didn't.
Did you offer Mr. Robinson something to drink?
I did.
And did he, what did he say to that?
I don't believe he took me up on my offer.
Did you offer him any food?
No, I don't believe I offered.
Did you offer him to go to the bathroom?
I did.
Did Mr. Robinson do anything to acknowledge that he understood his rights?
Yes.
What did he do?
After he read his 5 constitutional rights, he was allowed the opportunity to ask any questions if he was confused about any of the statements. He indicated that he was not confused and he did understand them. And he initialed to the left of each of the 5 constitutional rights.
Or was it supposed to be 7?
Sorry.
Yeah, or was it supposed to be 7? What does it stand to do?
Constitutional rights certificate of notification.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the constitutional rights form that you executed in your interview with Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
And I move the admission of the supposed to be 7.
Any objection? You ready?
Now, Master Voluntary. It's not true.
Voluntary, this is 4 years of voluntary.
Judge, it's Sergeant Abby, is that right?
Evie, long Evie.
Evie. So you indicated that you conducted this interview with Mr. Robinson, you said 2 weeks ago?
That was longer than that. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
With reviewing the constitutional, or do you remember the exact date?
I think it was August 20th.
Okay. Do you remember what time of day it was?
Late morning, early afternoon. I don't remember the specific time.
Seeing the constitutional right form, refresh your recollection as to what time.
It would.
Judge May.
2:30 p.m.
So your memory is refreshed and it occurred at 2:30 p.m. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at that point, Mr. Robinson had been in custody, for almost a day and a half. Is that right? A day and or half a day?
I really don't.
So you weren't aware of how long he'd been in custody at the community headquarters when you conducted the interview?
I know he had been arrested the day prior, but
Okay.
in terms of how many hours, I have no idea.
Okay. And you were aware that he had been interviewed by other officers about 12 hours before that, is that right?
No,
You were not aware of that?
I was not aware of that.
Were you aware that he'd been interviewed before that?
I believe I did have that information that there was an interview earlier.
Okay. And you indicated that you offered Mr. Robinson something to drink, is that right?
Yes, I did a suitability test on him where I dug into his background in terms of the last time he ate, how many hours of sleep he had, things of that nature.
Okay, and he indicated that he hadn't had anything to eat since he arrived in.
I do remember that, yes.
He indicated that he was cold, is that right?
No, maybe initially, but I had a space heater in the room that I turned up, so I know that his body temperature wasn't an issue.
But at the beginning, he said that he was cold, and then you turned on the heater, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And he also indicated that he hadn't been sleeping, is that right?
Can you repeat that?
That he indicated that he hadn't been sleeping.
I don't remember I asked him specifically how many hours of sleep he had. And he told me that he was not too tired to participate in it.
Did you, so you indicated that you did I'm sorry, what did you refer to it as, a suitability?
Yeah, based on my specialization, which is why I was interviewing him. Part of that interview process involves a suitability test.
And your specialization, that's in polygraph examination, is that right?
That's correct.
And so you were checking to see if he was suitable to take a polygraph, is that right?
That's it.
Oh, and that's where your expertise is. It's not in, how do I say, voluntariness of the statement or any legal background, is that right?
No, I've got training in that, so I'm aware of it.
Right. Well, when you refer to your specialty, you mean polygraph, right?
My specialty is polygraph, correct.
And did you ask him if he was supposed to be taking any medications?
I did ask him.
Okay. And when you were questioning him before the constitutional rights were evaluated or before they were reviewed with him, he was physically in some emotional distress that you could see, is that right?
I would agree with that.
Judge, I don't have any more questions, but I'll object for the record to the division.
All right, what makes it final that the state one commentary given to me, proceed.
Thank you. And just one more thing, sorry. So before you get into the statement, Judge, I will object to the parts of the statement I believe that are going to try to refer to the tampering charge just under corpus select diagrams. There hasn't been anything made for that. And for the record, I was going to wait to the end of this. But, so before his statement can be used against them, they have to like lay the corpus of the crime, right? So they have to bring in some kind of other evidence of the tampering.
The crime has been committed.
Doesn't
the dead body?
Yes. So Judge, I'm talking just about the tampering with evidence charge. That's not to, so any statements related to that, not to the statements.
I think the corpus electi is satisfied. Dead body.
For the tampering charge?
Yes.
Okay, and just for the record, so those arguments I would also make for the recorded statement that you'll be observing in chambers to judge that the statements made in that one as to the tampering charge. I would object to them coming in under the corpus grounds for the tampering charge. But I heard your
electi has been satisfied with the evidence of there being a dead body.
And again, Judge, just for the tampering, just for the record.
Oh, next.
Thank you. And Sergeant Jenkins stated that this interview was written.
I did reduce a portion of the interview to writing, correct?
It'd be fair to say that the written portion is not the entirety of the interview. It wouldn't include all of the details.
That's correct.
May I approach?
Yeah.
Can you look the market was supposed to be at 8? Can you tell me what it is?
Witness statement form.
And who's that with?
Armani Robinson.
Did you write that statement?
Yes, this is my reading. His signature appears at the bottom.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the written interview? Written portion of the interview that you conducted with Mr. Robinson?
It is.
And how many pages is that?
2.
Your Honor, whether the admission of the was it 8? Or I'm sorry. Yes, 8.
The objection.
Judge, I'll object without record.
Admitted.
Object without record.
Admitted.
Thank you. And you just left that. And is the statement also audio and video recorded?
Yes.
Is that a very accurate depiction of the video part of the interview that you completed?
It is.
And Your Honor, I move the admission of Exhibit 9, the video.
The objection.
No objection.
Admitted.
Thank you. I also will not be playing this in its entirety. Going back to People's Exhibit 8, what is the format of that written statement?
Question and answer.
And who asked the questions?
I did.
And who gave the answers?
Armani Robinson.
Can you please read that statement in question and answer form, indicating question before question, answer before answer?
Yes. Question. Describe the shooting. Answer. Early in the afternoon, I went to my mother's house in Pontiac to pick up my brothers, in parentheses, Marquel, black male 16, and Damari, black male 8. My mother had asked me to watch my brothers for the night. When I picked them up, I was with Alexis, in parentheses, girlfriend, and our son, in parentheses, Armani, black male 3. After we picked them up, we went to a park in Dearborn, and I let the kids play. I had my gun in my book bag, in parentheses, 6 Sauer 9mm Lucille automatic. I had bought the gun off the street about a month ago. I know there were bullets in the gun, but I don't know if a bullet was in the head. After we left the park, I picked up pizza at Little Caesars, and then we went home, in parentheses, 15-725 war. After eating, we all went upstairs to our bedroom and the kids played video games while Alexis and I laid in the bed. At some point, the boys fell asleep after playing video games, and Alexis and I had sex, and then we fell asleep. As I slept, the book bag with the gun was on the floor next to me. I do not have a gun lock, and the gun may have had a round in the head, but I don't remember. I fell asleep about 6 p.m., and I remember being awakened by yelling and screaming. Damari was frantic and stated, that.
And just for the record, I'm gonna object to this part of the statement, Mr. President. Double hearsay, right? Or I guess single hearsay.
Overruled.
In parentheses, Sean Tez Moore had shot himself. I raced downstairs and saw Cam lying in the living room floor with a gunshot to his head. Alexis screamed outside for someone to call the police. I saw the book bag and looked inside and saw my gun inside. I panicked and took the book bag containing the gun and put it in my car on the driver's seat. I returned inside and saw the casing and took it outside and put it inside a gap of decaying wood in the neighbor's garage next door. Question: do you know how the shooting occurred? Answer: no, but I suspect Damari may have shot him, but I don't know for sure. Question: how did the book bag and gun get to the main floor? Answer: I don't know. The kids must have taken it while I was sleeping. Question: how did Sean Tez get to your house? Answer: his grandmother must have dropped him off while I was asleep. Question: who was present when the shooting occurred? Answer: Marquel, Damari, and Sean Tez. Question: where was Marquel? Answer: he was upstairs when I came down. Question: do you have any knowledge how the shooting occurred? Answer: no. Question: are there any corrections? Answer: yes. Before I moved the casing, I took Cam to my neighbor's car so I could get him to the hospital.
Did Mr. Robinson have an opportunity to review that statement?
He did.
Did he have a chance to make any corrections?
Yes, as evidenced by the last question, I answered questions or corrections.
And did he do anything to acknowledge the accuracy of the statement?
He endorsed the bottom of both pages along with putting a date and a time for this endorsement.
I think
Cross-examine.
Thank you, Judge. Sergeant Edie, I'm going to ask you some questions. If you don't understand any of my questions, you can ask me to rephrase. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. So you indicated on direct exam, this written statement that you read, that's in your handwriting, right?
It is.
So you had a conversation with Mr. Robinson and then wrote that statement and asked him to endorse it. Is that right?
After he had an opportunity to make corrections, yes.
Okay. And you indicated that this was a recorded interview, is that right?
It was.
Did you have any conversations with Mr. Robinson before or after that recording started?
No, I did not.
Okay, so when you went into that interview room was the first time that you had any contact with Mr. Robinson?
That's correct.
And the purpose of going into that interview room, at least what you told Mr. Robinson, was to conduct a polygraph test, is that right?
Correct.
And before you went over the constitutional rights form, you had a conversation with Mr. Robinson, is that right?
I did.
And you told him that he was not a suspect and that this was just a horrible accident, is that right?
Correct.
And you told him, again, that he was gonna do a polygraph, right? Is that right?
I didn't tell him to do a polygraph. It was a voluntary
Oh, right.
option.
But you were in there to do the polygraph
I
and
was.
communicated that with him. And you told him that the two of you were going to have a conversation to figure out which questions to ask during the polygraph, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that you would use some practice questions before you started the polygraph. Is that right?
Correct.
But then you never actually did a polygraph test, did you?
Correct.
And that Mr. Robinson actually asked you to do the polygraph, right?
Yes.
And he wanted to do it even though you decided not to continue forward with the test. Is that right? And during your conversation with him, Mr. Robinson indicated that the gun had a magazine, but he was not sure whether or not there was a bullet in the chamber. Is that right?
Right. He was confident there were bullets in the magazine, but he wasn't confident. He was unsure of whether or not a round was actually chambered.
Okay. And at first he thought for sure there was not a around in the chamber, but eventually he admitted to you that there was a possibility of drugs. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, ma'am.
And he also told you that the decedent in this case, his name's Sean Ted, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Robinson indicated to you that they actually call him Cam, right?
Cam.
And he referred to him as Cam throughout the, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he indicated that Cam would never be with the gun, that wasn't the kind of, is that right?
I don't recall that. I think the way he referred to him was as actually kind of mischievous.
So there were two boys that you discussed during the interview,
Yes,
is that right?
yes.
One was named Damari also?
Yes.
So, is it possible that Cam was the one that he referred to as, is that right?
Yeah, then, okay.
And during your interview with Mr. Robinson, he told you where the shell casing was, right? You already said that, correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
And you even had a photograph of the yard that he was referring to, right?
Yes.
And he circled on that photograph where the casing was, is that right?
Yes.
And that was to assist officers finding it, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And during your interview, so you indicated that Mr. Robinson told you that the book bag was upstairs with him by the bed, is that right?
When he fell asleep.
When he fell asleep. And he actually indicated a little bit more detail to you about the bag being behind a fan, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And between, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So almost behind the bed, is that correct?
No, I was under the interpretation that it would have been directly to the side of the bed. There was a little gap he described between the wall and the bed where he was sleeping, and I was under the impression it would have been like right next to him. If he would have reached down on the side of the mattress, he would have been able to access the bed. That was my interpretation.
Okay, and the wall was right there, is what he told you.
The wall, correct. There was, right, a space between the wall and the side of the bed.
And he indicated that that was the last place that he saw the gun before he fell.
Right, he indicated that he placed the book bag when he went upstairs after arriving home. And when he was awakened due to the screaming, he discovered that the bag was not there.
Okay, and he told you that when he discovered the bag in the living room, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that the bag was zipped closed.
Yes.
And the gun was inside the bag.
That's correct.
And during that interview, he told you that he had told the officers who came to the house where the gun was, is that right?
Eventually, yes.
During your interview with Mr. Robinson, you were communicating with some officers who were on scene, right?
I was not, but I was in communication with somebody that was.
Okay, so there were officers that were on scene actively looking for that shell casing, is that right?
Yes.
Do you know who, which officers those were?
I believe it was Sergeant Reed.
Who was on scene?
I believe so.
Okay, and which officer were you communicating with who was doing the relay of that?
I don't remember if it was Officer Cooper, maybe. I don't recall.
Okay. Would you have taken any notes or put that in a report anywhere?
No. I'm sure I can get that information. I just, I say there.
Did you write a report relating to this interview at all?
I just did the witness statement.
Okay, I don't have any more questions for them.
Can you redirect?
So you stated that a polygraph wasn't actually done,
That's correct.
and why was not?
I had some concerns about his suitability, specifically his emotional state. I didn't feel as though, as part of the polygraph process, it's important that the examinee is in a comfortable state, not emotional, and it was clear that I was concerned about his emotional state having some type of negative impact that would make the results unreliable.
And you also mentioned that you showed Mr. Robinson a photo of the garage where he placed the case in.
Yes.
Yeah, it was done.
You may.
Maybe it was more visible to the 10. People knew where those needed you.
This is a color photograph of the side of the garage next to the suspect's residence where he indicated that he placed the spent case.
And is that photo of your accurate representation of the photo that showed Mr. Robinson that he certainly where he placed the case in?
Yes.
And I would give it what's give it 10.
I don't have any objections.
And
Just a couple follow-up questions. Judge.
based on that.
Yes, Judge. The photograph that you were just shown, that's a photograph just of that shed area, is that right?
The garage, yes.
Okay, and did he actually draw on the photograph that you showed him?
Yes, I actually witnessed. I saw where he drew the circle.
Oh,
In
that.
black ink.
Okay.
It's difficult to see.
Okay. Thank you. And you indicated that you determined that Mr. Robinson is not suitable for a polygraph, is that right? Because of his emotional state?
That's fair.
Can you describe to me what you mean by that and what emotional state did you observe in him?
He was crying at times. He was, that was the main physical feature that I saw, the crying, kind of shaking at times. He was obviously clearly upset about what happened. And his heart rate and blood pressure, in my opinion, clearly would have made the results unreliable.
Did you test his heart rate or blood pressure?
I didn't, but based on my training, just the physical signs that I saw were dangerous.
I don't have any questions.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Any other witnesses for the people?
Okay.
Any witnesses for the defendant?
No, Judge.
People? Oh,
I want to.
so let me ask you, based on Officer Levy's testimony, why do I need to look at video?
Judge, I would say, because it shows where he started and then where he eventually ended at.
Isn't all you care about is where he ended?
I didn't hear that.
I suppose.
Well, Judge, the statement has been admitted into evidence at this point. The first set of statements I would ask for those to be reviewed.
Why?
Well, I guess if you don't want to, Judge, then
No, I asked you why, I said I didn't want to.
Well, again, Judge, I mean, because they were already put into evidence, if you don't want to review them, then I would just ask that they be stricken from the record. Were you making your
My
final?
question is, it sounds like the people got out the information that they need, that he had this gun in his book bag. Book bag, the gun in the book bag is unsecured. Kid got a hold of it, shot himself. Basically, what it boils down to, why do I need to review 2 hours of video to get what I've already heard?
Judge, I'm not going to make arguments for the people.
So let me ask you the question. you want me to do the video?
Judge, again,
Because you got out what you wanted to get out too. The book bag was zipped up next to him. He fell asleep, didn't know the kids were in the house, that type of thing.
Judge, I think there might be some statements on that video that, for my purposes, would support part of my argument for an intervening clause here that would break the causation for proximate cause in this case. So that's why I would be asking you to review that.
Because the nuts and bolts of it all is that
Because there were other,
was left
right,
unsecured.
there were other people in the house, right? And so part of my arguments will be about an intentional misconduct by another person.
Right? And his book bag.
And Judge, again, if you don't want to review them and you feel satisfied, then I would just ask that they be stricken from the record. So if we
Quit
do.
saying I don't want to review something.
I'm
I'll
sorry,
review
okay.
Anything that I have to.
If the
But
people
question is,
decide.
do I have to review?
Again, I don't think that's my decision to make, but if they have not been reviewed, then I would ask for them to be stricken.
Basically, from the record, they were rightfully admitted exhibits, or had the opportunity to review them.
And they are part of the record.
They are part of the record.
Regardless of whether I look at it or not.
But Judge, if I'm filing a motion to quash in circuit court and you haven't actually reviewed part of the evidence that's been admitted, I think that that's an issue.
You know what, forget it. I'll look at it. This is ridiculous. Did you email it to me yet?
I sent it out.
Take a pause for a minute. Joseph Adam Mendenhall. What is this connected to?
You just see him on the screen, Your Honor. Mendenhall, I didn't,
Oh, here he is, okay.
Judge, can Mr. Rouse run to the restroom?
Yes.
Judge, which email did you want to send?
Kenneth got County 36 issue. All right, calling case 2357778, people of the state of Michigan versus Joseph Adam Mendenhall. Defendant is charged in count 1, weapons, firearms, possession by a felon. Count 2, domestic violence, second offense notice. Domestic violence and or knowingly assaulted a pregnant woman. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drain for the people, P number 60249.
And may it please the court, Neighborhood Defender Service of Detroit by Jeffrey Kenneth, P 64800 on behalf of Mr. Mendenhall. Mr. Mendenhall, you'll have to unmute and state your name for the record, please.
Yes.
Tell me your name, sir.
Joseph Mendenhall, Joseph Adam Mendenhall.
All right, what's your pleasure, Mr. Kenneth?
Your Honor, I met with Mr. Mendenhall over the weekend, and after our discussions, I believe that Mr. Mendenhall is going to waive his preliminary exam and understanding he'll be bound over to circuit court. No?
I don't want to bind it over. No bind.
Then we want to set it for exam, apparently.
Yes.
All right, the court will continue to plead not guilty and set this matter for preliminary examination. We'll set a preliminary examination date for September 25th at 12 o'clock noon. Is that a good date and time?
That is, Judge. Thank you.
We continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that's 12 o'clock, Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'm good.
You're all set, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay blessed, y'all.
You as well. Guys ready for some bad humor?
Sure.
This process scared the crap out of me.
What's that?
This process scared the crap out of me. Bad humor.
Actually, took me a minute, I'm
Right
sorry.
over your head.
Moving along.
Okay, we are back on the record on People versus Armani Devon Robinson. Okay, so that's it. You just need to review the video, is that right?
Yes.
You sent it to me, Ms. Ripley?
I did just send you and also got a link. They are an active board form, so they should be ready to
Okay,
go.
so we need to date to come back. Wednesday looks good for me. Oh, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow looks good for me.
But I'll be here at 9 for another exam with Jefferson, so I can write it after.
Okay, let's say 10 o'clock.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Judge, can we just briefly address one? I know we have a ruling on this, but Mr. Robinson is on house arrest. We're just asking for some hours so that we can take care of some here.
What hearing? Go to the Secretary of State for what?
To send my,
Stand up, sir.
send my files, I need to grab some.
Send your files.
Yeah, I need
What
some,
files?
I got some legal files I'm trying to file,
I understand what you're talking
and I also need to go do my birth certificate, and I need to go to my county clerk office.
about. Can't you order your birth certificate online? You don't have to physically be present.
Yes, Your Honor, but I also need to go to the county clerk's office,
For what?
file these documents that I'm trying to file, preparing for this case.
What document? What are you talking
And I got some legal documents.
The county clerk's office.
And I
And also
also,
in this case,
Your Honor, I also, I'm trying to gather some funds, because I don't have no more funds. I'm on house arrest, and I can't pay my tether. I got bills and stuff that I can't.
And just, he was working before this at Walmart, construction, remodeling construction. So he does still have that job.
you have that job, that was the last time you worked.
Friday.
Last Friday was the last time you
No,
worked?
Friday.
Yeah.
What Walmart are you working?
7 miles in Livonia,
7 months.
in Livonia, 7 miles in,
Who's your supervisor?
her name is. I forgot her name.
That's your supervisor, man.
Yes,
You still have a job there?
yes, ma'am.
How do you know?
I talk to her often.
You talk to her
Well,
often, but you don't know her name?
not that I talk to her often, but my brother, he still works there, and she said as soon as I come in and bring my son's obituary, I can get my job back, like I can continue to work, but she knows my situation.
How long have you worked with?
I've been working there for about over 2 months.
What do you do?
I remodeled the Walmart.
You remodel
Yes.
Walmart.
Yes.
So Walmart hired you to remodel.
Yes.
What's their phone number?
I don't know that on hand, Your Honor.
She said, didn't you tell me you talk to these people almost every day?
Oh, he has it in his phone, but the phone is out. We can provide that.
Okay, so I have to establish something.
Well, just since we're coming back tomorrow, maybe we can come with that information tomorrow.
Have some information. I'll continue.
Thank you.
We're gonna publish the remaining exhibits. Yeah.
You want me to?
So you're good.
So you want me to hang on to this?
I'm just like, what's your lecture?
I don't think I need it. Especially since I'm gonna be looking at the video.
Are we off the record?
Yes, we're done.
All
Okay.
right, thank you, two more.
I believe that concludes the docket for today. Hope to see you tomorrow, same bad station, same bad time. Have a good day.